We use police to take back streets that have been given away to the lawless, to now give them back to the law-abiding.
How soon will it be that actually the average New Yorker is going to feel the impact?
Very soon, right, gentlemen? Very soon, okay.
Preventative measure, and if there are some anti-crime benefits, all well and good.
Is it a pat-down incidental to an arrest?
I pat him down just for safety.
Rudy Giuliani accepted quality of life policing. Remember, his first great victory was getting the squeegee men off the streets. The guys who used to stop your car. It was like a mini extortion racket. Matrons coming from New Jersey would be frightened by this.
And so they began to take on squeegee guys, homeless guys out on the street, quote, aggressive begging. And what they did is they created larger-than-life problems. I mean, and all said and done, there were only 74 squeegee guys in the whole city of New York. But now we're going on to the next quality of life issue, which is the homeless guy with a cup.
No panhandling, boss. You don't see the drinking in the middle of the street anymore. You don't see the people begging at the doors, because they know when we come up, they're not just going to be moved along. They're going to be summoned.
I think it's unfair. What they should do, if they're going to crack down on it, is give us jobs. And then we won't be homeless.
Do we have a peddler's license on us by chance?
We want to show people improvement in the quality of their life, that things are getting better for them, that things are safer, quieter, a city that they can use and enjoy.
Years ago, you could be issued a summons for a variety of things. Now you don't get the summons. You could be issued a summons for beating the fare and hopping on the train. No, we're not doing that anymore. We'll lock you up, charge you with theft of services. We take you downtown. You got to go see the judge. It's going to take a day and a half, 2 days. You're drinking beer on the street. No, we're not giving you a summons. We're taking you. Quality of life, we're taking you. So now you have people spending a day or 2 days in jail for minor things. Zero tolerance.
Stop harassing artists!
Artists have actually been arrested, taken to the precinct for attempting to sell their artwork on the streets.
Because I'm painting, they do this.
So Rudy Giuliani said, I'm getting these people off the streets. And suddenly, the idea was, gee, wait a minute. The police are not powerless. They actually can make the city orderly. We don't have to live this way.
All the supposedly cops came in, kicking the doors, yelling to open the door, and pointing at us with, I don't know, it was laser guns. All I saw, I was panicked.
They come in here in that kind of a raid. They want to terrorize you so that you're so discombobulated, so out of your wits, that you do exactly what you're told. And that's what happened. It's a terror tactic. It works well for them.
While I was going on the floor, they kicked me down. So they handcuffed me and the rest of the employees here. And they kicked Eddie, and they threatened to shoot another employee. You know, I was just in shock.
I swear to God, you're a terrible, I'm killing you. Stand up and do it. Let's see what I want.
I was handcuffed for 2 hours, like if I was a criminal.
It is Giuliani time. Everybody knows that. This comes down from the top. And I hear these stories all the time where they go in, they put jewelry on the counter, and then have a different team run in and claim that guy bought stolen merchandise. Now they say that they told us it was stolen. Well, that was a lie. They're just acting like Nazi stormtroopers. They do what they want. They hit 20 jewelry stores. They're going to find a couple with stolen merchandise, and they work on a percentage basis. But in my case, they knew they were wrong because the city paid me. They paid me restitution. But there was no reason for them to use terror tactics. You just don't think it really happens in real life. Certainly not in what I believe my America is.
I think it happens more often than we know about. They only show us the dark side of the citizenship, but they don't show us the dark side of them.
We really have to be more aggressive in trying to educate and control and police the police officers who are out there trying, supposedly, to protect us, because at the end of the day, that power, I think, really infects them in a way that is very scary. And unfortunately, I think they definitely have gotten the message that you should go out and wield your power in a really unrestrained fashion to effectuate the statistics that Mr. Giuliani needs to be able to declare victory over crime in the city of New York.
Today, I'm very, very pleased to announce that New York City dropped, in terms of serious felony crime, 18.3% in the first 6 months of 1995. We've gotten rid of a lot of the aggressive panhandling, and at the same time, we've gotten the greatest decline in the major crimes that the city has ever had. And the two things are connected to each other. The broken windows theory. When I started focusing on quality of life with Commissioner Bratton, many, many people criticized that. And the most dramatic thing about these statistics is that those critics have now all been satisfied.
There's no evidence that disorder and crime are linked. The very foundations of broken windows theory, which is that disorder invites crime, have no standing in social science. There is not one shred of evidence. This is a narrative that they were able to sell and sell very aggressively through the forcefulness of Giuliani's personality, through a compliant press, through the absence of any contrary data.
New York's declines last year were 3 to 6 times the national average. It's also now America's safest large city and helping really the rest of the country reduce crime.
In fact, homicides went down and crime went down generally in virtually every city in the country under a wide variety of policing regimes. New York had its own policing theory and its own particularized style. Other cities did things completely differently.
There's no question but the crime is down. The only real question is, has crime declined in the Giuliani era at a far more significant rate than in other major municipalities because it's declined across the country? And I think the way some crimes were reported, of shifting them out of FBI categories so that they wouldn't count, resulted in a distorted picture where it appeared that crime was declining faster in New York City than it was in other major cities. It was probably declining at roughly the same rate. No magic here.
If you don't think I've reduced crime, you got to be living in some other city. But, you know, some people are living in some other city.
But it's in the bloodstream of New Yorkers. It apparently is now even in the bloodstream of Americans, this mythology that Rudy Giuliani single-handedly, super cop, conquered crime in New York City. Rudy gets all the credit. And then when Time magazine did their big cover story and they had Bill Bratton on the cover, it actually cost him his job.
I've just met with the mayor this morning and have given to him my letter of resignation as the police commissioner for the city of New York. Resignation. He does rule by intimidation, by fear. That's well known, and he delights to be known as a tough guy.